The I think it's about 8 acres, all out in the open. So we're, decent shoes, etc. No need for a tripod or anything, but great, great opportunity. We've been there numerous times, and I always find something else to photograph when I go. Great for texture backgrounds also. There's lots and lots of rust, but there's a lot to photograph. It's a great down in Lidditz. It's a great place.
Yeah, I'm looking forward to going. Thanks, Eve, for taking ownership of that. And great image that you sent me this morning. Loved it.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
Okay, and right now that's all the trips that we have until July, I believe it is, that we'll be going to Gettysburg for the old time baseball tournament. The trips committee, we will be meeting next week, so we're going to get some more trips on tap for y'all. But for right now, that's what we have. Mark?
Okay. Thank you. And we'll do a quick trip report. There was a trip to Steamtown. Um, Two people showed up. The two leaders were there. That was it.
Aw,
It was a cold day.
yeah.
Um, and they had quite a few things under wraps. Some of the stuff that's left outside was in covers like boats in wintertime with that
Oh,
plastic polyfilm. But Steve and I had a good time. So to go on from there, like I said, tonight's session is a image review, and I am going to make Mike a co-host. And Mike, you are now a co-host, and you can share your screen, hopefully.
How do we look?
We look good.
Can you hear everything?
I can hear you too. Yep.
Does it say no one is perfect?
Yep. A
Okay.
portfolio of the old college tries.
All right. And we're ready to go. A couple things before I
Okay.
start. Sorry?
Nothing. Go on.
Okay. I want to thank the people who were kind enough and brave enough to send me some um less wonderful photographs. This is an April Fool's edition of the meeting, but hopefully you'll get some ideas as well. And I'm going to ask the people who sent photographs, I'll give them a moment to defend themselves after we go through their work. And let's start with this one. Now, you'll get the idea here of how this is going to work. As I said, the April Fool's edition. First of all, um, oh, also, when we're finished tonight, hopefully you will have full confidence in my abilities as an image reviewer, and you'll see that I am noticing many things in your work. So, let's start with this unusual motorcycle here that surprisingly enough, it looks like it works from a USB port. And I've never heard of that before. So this motorcycle, evidently you plug it into your computer, it charges up, and away it goes. Now, I do need to talk to the photographer about photographing in front of what looks to me like a condemned house. I really don't think that's fair. I really don't think that you should do that. Also, the motorcycle has a topless windshield, which when there's anything topless in a photograph, windshield's not what you think of, but it is. This red bucket sitting on the back of the motorcycle, that must be a lunchbox, is what I'm thinking. I'm impressed that it's parked on a downhill slide and it's not going anywhere. That to me is impressive. One embarrassing thing is I believe this is the bathroom window of the house next door. So, as a photographer, you need to be very careful. Now, I'm thinking the photographer also tried to do some macro work, but you can see that they got a little too close to the motorcycle when they did their work and smashed in the side of the gas tank. Probably that's why it runs on USB, would be my guess. So, as far as this work goes, um, I see a little room for improvement. And also stay back when you're taking a photograph. Give a wider berth. So otherwise you're in trouble macro wise. Also, the same person sent in this photograph. Now you know that we want to tell stories in our photography. It's part of art to share ideas and tell stories. And this image definitely tells a story to me. It goes way back to the time of kings and queens. And I think it's impressive that it's kind of a love story, actually. That the king and the queen, it looks like they're going to jump on their horses and ride back to the castle. And I think this probably should be titled Royal Elopement. So really good work with telling a story. I'm impressed with that. Very nice work. Oh, wait, this one's really, really good. Um, Dave, what do you have to say for yourself?
Well, throw me to the lions.
Well, you can only discuss this one for a moment or two if you want to.
This is a lot of fun, and I submitted this image maybe in a way because of people who haven't decided to step out and show images for these kinds of reviews. This image is favorite of mine, and it's one that I submitted earlier.
Hmm.
But it's notable because I took the comments of the reviewer to heart. It may not look like it, but I did. And I think this is improved quite a bit. So I guess my message to folks who haven't submitted these yet is, put yourself out there and you can always improve. That motorcycle was a crash waiting to happen. And all I could say is, tour de force, Mike. Tour
Well,
de
thank you
force.
for sending it in. And the watch shot is beautiful. Very nice.
I appreciate that. That's the nicest thing you've ever said.
All right, let's move on. First of all, I'm awfully impressed with the eye of the photographer here because I personally have not seen a two-legged horse ever in my entire life. So that's pretty awesome. Now, also, I notice on the leg in the front and the head and the body itself, there's some motion blur, and that tells me that the horse is actually charging the photographer on two legs. Now that's something. And the photographer showed tremendous courage to stand in there and be very, very, very brave. Anything for the shot, even if it's blurry. So you go for it. Oh, wait, there's a name on there. Let's go to the next one. Ah, there we go. Eve, what about this one?
This one I shot right after the last one that we just looked at. And I actually got what I wanted with this one. The other one, I did not wait for the decisive moment and not get what I was hoping I would get. I was rushing around, following these horses, doing everything that you shouldn't do instead of setting myself to get the right shot. So I settled my rear end down and same horse, waited for the moment and got this shot. So that's what this one is.
Really nice. Nice and crisp and sharp, a nice portrait.
Thank you. Thanks.
By the way, if you're noticing a pattern here, it will continue. These people were kind enough to respond to my request for iffy photographs. Now, the review of this one, first of all, it's an absolutely beautiful shot of a basket handle. You'll notice it's crisp and sharp. There's lots of vertical lines in it, which shows strength, if you remember. So I gotta say, basket-wise, the handle looks really great. The fruit looks kind of rotten, which maybe is why the fruit is out of focus. I think I would have blurred it as well because it looks kind of gross. I certainly would not take a bite of it, especially the blue one. Who ever heard of blue fruit? I mean, not me. I know blueberries, but that looks like a blue apple or something. That looks like gross things growing on the pear, and the other ones just came out of the freezer. But the handle looks great, I have to say. I noticed there's some legs in the shot. Um, they look just wonderful. The red on the other side, I guess that's to match the grody looking apple that's in there. So yeah, as far as the basket handle goes, beautiful. As far as the fruit goes, it's kind of disgusting. Let's move on. Oh, yes. I remember this one, the hairy chicken. It looks as though the hairy chicken, as I said, your art wants to tell a story. It looks like it's trying to get out of the egg basket back there. And if I were a chicken, I wouldn't want to go anywhere near an egg basket because, they'd be taking my kids away from me. So yeah, um, one other thing, I think the chicken is a little disgusted with the photographer because even chickens give side eye. I
Yeah.
mean, look at the look on that chicken's face. Like, get out of here. I'm trying to eat. So yeah, maybe you could have waited for a better, softer, more loving expression on the chicken's face. And one other thing, I'm not sure about getting model releases when a chicken poses. You might want to think about that as well. But yeah, other than that, and that white spot in the back and the bar coming through the chicken's beak and the chicken's hairiness and everything else looks great, including the side eye. Oh, this one's beautiful. Gene, what do you say about this?
I believe all three of those were taken at the antique market place in Lemoyne when we went
Oh,
on our trip. Um, and the chicken, yes, he was a little disdained with me. He did not really like me, and yeah, that's the side eye I got from him. So, and actually, I did take a way better picture of the basket of fruit. And I am now doing watercolors, and I did a watercolor painting of that, and it turned out really nice for a beginner
yeah.
watercolor.
Well, thank you
But
for not sending the good one.
yes, you're welcome. And the violin, I just love the shot because my daughter Leah played the violin in school, and when I saw it there, it just said, pick me," and so I did.
Yeah, it's beautiful.
Thank you. I
Well,
did not know you were a comedian too.
well, we'll find out as the night wears on. Okay, Joe's not here, so I can go crazy on this one. My notes say that it's a lot like a snow globe, only with no snow. And it also reminds me, those of us who wear glasses, when we get our brand new glasses and we walk outside, this is what the world looks like. It's all leaning away and the road kind of dips and I don't know. It's an unusual viewpoint. I also give brownie points to the photographer for having the courage to lay down in the middle of the street to get the shot. And it's anything for the shot. You do anything to get the photograph that you possibly can. Normally, I would not suggest laying down in the street, but you can see that this city is totally abandoned, except this guy lives there and this guy on the bicycle lives there. Other than that, I don't think there's anybody else in the entire city. So that makes it safe to lay down in the middle of the street. And again, talk about being at the right place at the right time. The only two inhabitants of the entire city, and they're both in the shot. So that's impressive timing. Very impressive. He also submitted this beautiful, relaxing, nice sitting out, getting ready to eat. What you can see here is the world's largest marshmallow. So they'll be cooking. Here's the grill, and they'll be cooking the marshmallow, well, part of it anyway, over the fire. So it's a nice story, except it's kind of creepy back here. If anyone saw the movie Deliverance, this is a little nerve-wracking. And also, what else is a little nerve-wracking is when this tree goes, it's going to squash the marshmallow and knock these people off into the water. So that creates photographic tension, which is pretty impressive, really. So it's more to me like a horror story, actually. You're sitting there waiting for this thing to fall down on your head before you can get to the marshmallow. Okay, now this has some more potential here. This is Joe's abstract that he submitted, and you can see the lines, the shapes, and it all forms a cohesive entire situation. Leading lines, he used a lot of compositional tools here, and this he submitted for his good one, so I'm not going to blast it. Looks good, Joe. Okay, I can hardly believe my eyes on this one. I know I'm guessing this is over at Pine Grove Furnace, and I had no idea that there were alligators in Pine Grove Furnace. No idea. And not only did I not know that, I had no idea that they were in the snow. So, very impressive shot there. I'm also impressed at how the water stays in the lake even though it's running downhill. That's an impressive thing too. And I see you went for the foggy horror movie type look with the alligator here, ready to snap something in its jaws. So good work here by doing the the fading, I guess. But yeah, this is amazing here. Just amazing. And also, I see the photographer went the opposite direction. The beauty of this one is this purple tree here, which there's a lot of unusual things that I don't get to see in nature very much, and this purple tree is one of them. So that's kind of cool. It's sort of like, they used to call Prince the purple one. Well, that might be what this tree is, the purple one. And over here, we have some green polka dots, also some purple on here. So very colorful and very, very impressive. Also, I'd like to know how in the world you ever got a softbox this big or a backdrop this gigantic to make this sky totally white. You must be a genius. I don't know how you made that work. Here's another purple tree back here. So very, very beautiful, colorful fall shot, even though purple's not normally known as a fall color. Oh, Mark, nice work. Tell us about it.
Uh, these are all shot at Pine Grove Furnace. You're right there. The
The
alligator
alligator
took me a
too.
while because the alligator took me a while because I had to wait for him to come above the water because it was
Fair
cold
enough.
out and he didn't like the cold. And that lens flare, I had to get that just right.
Well, you did a good job.
But I guess what the whole thing boils down to is in this particular case, my examples were bad use of light on those first two shots, especially the second one with the walkway. I was so enamored with the trail, I could blown out sky just didn't do it for me. And this shot was taken probably a half hour later in roughly the same area. And but the lighting was better. The lighting was on the plant and the background was dark.
So you redeemed
But I
yourself.
appreciate your comments. I'll take them to heart.
Yeah, I'll bet. Okay. The first thing I noticed here is the wall. And I think with my sharp image reviewer's eye, one of two things here. Either it's snowing or a lot of birds sit on the top of that wall. I said sit on the top of the wall, SIT. And, well, you can see the results of it. Also, I'm a little iffy on photographing somebody else's property. I mean, it's obvious to me that they're taking a short break from repairing this bicycle, and I'm not sure if you need a property release or exactly what. Um, and in fact, you might notice here, that's probably where the battery goes. I'm sure this is one of those modern newfangled e-bikes because it looks like it's been heavily used for sure. I also have to say the photographer did show a lot of courage going for this shot when it looks like the walls are falling in. So good work there. Again, anything for the shot. Um, like I said, I'm a little iffy on whether you do other people's property. You can see here he has the bike locked to the wall so nobody steals it. Um, but it's okay. But now here's the completed repair job. And this is the shot that we're looking for with the bike totally completed, totally done. I told you it was being repaired. And I like the fact that this and this tell a story about obviously the same bicycle. So evidently he got it fixed or she and then rode it over here. So really nice telling a story as a diptych. Um, One thing that I'm curious about is to why they tried to make this like the old-timey bicycles with the big front wheel and the small back wheel. I don't really I don't really know why you would do that when you were repairing the bicycle, but I like how you got phase one and phase two of the bike repair. Very impressive as a diptych, which is something we don't do in photography that often. George, are you here?
Yes, I am.
Okay, then there we go. Tell us about this.
Oh, that I took when we were sailing through Budapest in November. That's the chain bridge, the old chain bridge, and up on the hill is some of the palaces where they light up the city at night every night until 10 o'clock, and then they turn everything off.
Were you moving?
Uh, for this shot, I was standing still with a tripod, but
Okay, you weren't on the boat actually.
no, well, it's a funny story with it goes with that. When we first docked, we were right next to the chain bridge. I said, "Oh, I got to get this shot." And well, the first boat was in the way, so there was another boat docked next to us out in the water. So I ran out into that one, and the steward's yelling at me. He says, "We're leaving in 15 minutes. You better get off this boat." And I ran to the top of the boat up to the upper deck and I set up the tripod and was able to capture this.
It's
and,
beautiful.
and get off the boat in time.
That's good.
And you know,
Really, really nice. Anything you want to say about night photography?
oh well, photography any time of the day is the best time, but I always like night and blue hour the best. And especially when I can do some long exposure work.
Well, it looks great. Looks really good. And thanks for submitting, by the way.
My pleasure, Mike. Don't give up the day job.
I understand. Okay. Um, First of all, I don't know if any of you have ever seen any concert footage or anything of Michael Jackson, but there's a part in his show where he leans on the side, but his shoes stay in place. And I think that's what the photographer did on this shot, is kept their feet still, leaned over, and got the shot to kind of disorient us. I think the idea was to make it unusual or different or unique. You can well imagine the leading line going down the steps, but going up the steps would be a lot harder work. I would call this contemporary modern art because I think the idea is to put us into that lean. And well, here, let me show you what I'm talking about. I think that's what the photographer did to get that shot. You can see exactly what I'm talking about. Very impressive. Okay, and this is a style of photography called UCM. You may have heard of it. That stands for unintentional camera movement. Um, Again, it looks like they were trying for some impressionistic view, but maybe they tripped on this cord here, or maybe got so carried away with the camera, or maybe they were trying to eat something while they took the shot. But yeah, UCM is closely related to ICM, which is intentional camera movement. So so I have to say, anybody who's able to make their photography represent a school of painting, in this case impressionism, very impressive. And I especially like this little fire back here that somebody started. It's kind of dangerous, but you got the shot. So very, very good. And also, to show the versatility of this person, here we have a shot from, I would say probably Alaska. It looks to me sort of like a travel shot of an igloo, the entrance to an igloo. It's, I don't, the only thing that kind of throws me is that electric light. I didn't really know igloos had that, but yeah, I'm very impressive. And you'll see here, there's kind of a snow sculpture here and up and then into the igloo. You you can't tell from the scale really, but I think you'd have to duck and then crawl in probably. So yeah, good work with the igloo. Good work here with throwing a little bit of modern stuff into it. Very impressive. The thing of it is, I've always thought that native people in Alaska could make straighter igloos, but I guess when you get inside, it's probably okay, I would think. Well, Mary, are you here? Why, that chicken. Mary? Well, as you can see, the three previous photographs were Mary's, and this one is also hers. So, the idea being that every shot is not going to work out. The other thing being, if there's people in this club that you respect or see as good photographers, they have as many goof ups as you do. So if you're hesitant to put something out or to make a print and give it to somebody or make it into a card, give it a shot. Now, I know that after tonight, many of you are probably saying you are starting to be so impressed with my image reviewing. So let me show you a few portfolios of my work. Ignore this one. I'll show you a few portfolios of my work so that you will have full confidence in my talents and abilities as an image reviewer and as a photographer. So let's go to the first mini portfolio that hopefully will win you over. This one shows my skills and talents concerning birds in flight. And the first one was taken at Kiwanis Lake. And you can see that it's flying. So that tells you my skills on birds in flight. Also in Kiwanis Lake, I have another great egret shot. You can see that the diagonal line shows movement. And that's about all that's in there is movement. So, okay, let's move on. The next one, um, hmm, can't really, oh yeah, there it is. Also, the egret at Kiwanis Lake, very, very impressive in my book. I know Kurt, who does a lot of bird photography, is probably very jealous right now. And I can't say as I blame him, actually. Okay, here's another egret in flight and a couple ducks resting. And this will lead me into my next portfolio, which is people and nature. So you can see there's a juvenile eagle and one of the people in our group looking at it. And so you can see the theme, people in nature, working out perfectly. You can tell that he's wearing a hat and has, I think, probably a jacket on. And his gaze leads you right to the eagle. Okay, let me see. There they are. There's two birds sitting on top of the, here, let me take my cursor. There they are. And you can see that there's also a person in nature. In fact, there might be two looking over the hill and checking things out. And you can see how sharp and clear the rest of the photograph is. This auto-focusing thing is just absolutely fabulous. Just fabulous. You can see how sharp it looks. And again, people in nature. Here are gobs of seals and the person, you can guess they're holding their camera up, getting a shot or looking through binoculars. So this actually is telling a story as well. Now, if these shots don't, oh, hey, there's Mark. I don't know why you're in my pic. Oh yeah, it's people in nature. So yeah, there's Mark working on a photograph. Um, hmm. Not sure what his subject is, but my subject was people in nature, and that's why I took this shot. So you can see that not only do I know image reviewing, I'm also an excellent photographer. This is my favorite one. It's not really people in nature, it's artificial nature. It was at the model train setup, but here, people in nature, you can see. Every time I look at this, it cracks me up because it's so crazily perfect. The I'm not sure I'd need a model release because it's out in public. Plus, their eyes are closed, so you really can't tell if they see me or not. But this, I think, is my favorite shot of people with nature. Okay. Travel photography. Many of you do, and you said you've been following Dennis. So this is a little mini portfolio of a trip into Perry County. And you can see that I took some beautiful photographs of the scenery, of the interesting sky. And Well, you can't really see these weeds here, but they're there. Believe me. There's a better one. Um, hmm. Well, let's concentrate on the trees back here. And there's a little bit of blue in the sky. So I think that can count as an interesting sky. Lots of beautiful greenery up here. So yeah, and I'm sure that you're becoming more and more impressed with my skills and talents in photography. Here you see repeated shapes with the vertical line of strength, just like here. Here's some more. Well, that one's kind of diagonal, but here's some other ones. And I purposely made all these blurry so that they wouldn't take away from the beauty of the lines. I was so amazed. Remember the two-legged horse that Eve took? Well, I saw all these headless cows and I thought, man, that's really something. So as we went by, I took the shot of these headless cows and I think it's magnificent. You can see that there's repeated shapes and it's beautiful. Here's some more repeated shapes. And again, I purposely made this blurry because I wanted it blurry. And here's the final one of this portfolio to show that people do live there. This house is on the side of a hill, it looks like. I'm not sure why you would build your house on a slanted hill like that. But anyway, and this beautiful, interesting sky and these lines that stick into the other lines. Awesome. Oh, I almost missed this one. Beautiful. Okay, my last portfolio is for you to know your equipment. Know what your equipment does, know how to use it, and I'll tell you a little story as we go along here. My camera has two choices as far as shutter goes, a mechanical shutter or an electronic shutter. The electronic shutter is totally silent and lightning fast. You'll have 60 or 70 pictures taken before you know it. So I wanted to photograph some hummingbirds. I set it on the silent electronic shutter that was like lightning, took the hummingbird shots, and then went out on my deck later and I thought, oh, I'm going to try this. I'm going to photograph that. And I pushed the shutter and I didn't hear anything. This was a few days later. And I thought, what's going on here? Isn't it working? So I pushed the shutter, pushed the shutter, pushed the shutter. Nothing was happening. I thought, what is going on here? And then I remembered that I had taken the settings and changed it to electronic shutter. And it's like 30 frames a second. It's crazy. And I ended up with close to 90 pictures of my foot because I was holding the camera down, trying to figure out, change the settings on the back, push the shutter, and I could go on forever. I only am showing you 10 of them. So know your equipment. That's very important. Oh, there's another one to finish. Oh, maybe I did more than I thought. That darn shutter. Oh, there we go. Now it irritates me when people read what's on the screen, so I'm going to read what's on the screen. The end. We hope that you have seen that April Fool's Day is an important holiday, and next year you take a day off work for it. But even more importantly, we hope you've seen that we all goof up. Your photography will get better and be more meaningful to you as you take more and more photographs. Stick with it, and you'll have more to say with your photography, and the skills with which to say it. And here's my ending photograph by me. And that's the
Very
end.
nice, Mike. Mike, can you do me a favor?
Yes.
Mike, can you do me a favor and go back to the picture of the seals? I think that's around 30 or something. Yeah.
Mark, I don't think you understand the purpose of the meeting. It's not for you to talk about my pictures. It's
I
for
want
me
you
to
to
talk
go back
about
to that one
yours.
anyway.
All right, just a
I
minute.
want to go back to that one anyway.
Hold on. Nope. People in nature. Oh, there we go.
You're close.
Can you see it?
Not yet.
Oh, I'm
There
showing
we
it.
are. Got it. Okay. I've always wanted to say this to you. This would be a perfect
Yes.
picture to print, except you get this little dot in the water,
Let me
right in the
repeat
middle.
myself, Mark. Mark, let me say this again. Tonight's meeting is not for you to abuse me. It's for me to abuse you.
I
Sorry,
don't
I
know,
had to
Mark.
do
I still don't see the problem with his photograph. I like it.
Gold star for you, mister. Now, let me thank
it.
all the
Okay.
people whose names I called. George, Mary Fox, Joe. Let me go down the list. I don't want to miss anybody. Dave, Eve, Jean, Joe, Mark, George, Michael Jackson, and Mary Fox. I want to thank them for submitting less than stellar work so that I could prove a point that we all have that kind of work. And then thank you for submitting the good stuff to show that you work toward an end. And the shots like you're looking at right here. Okay, Mark, are you happy?
Yeah, I'm happy.
Shots that we're working toward with shots like this, and we end up with the good stuff. We're all at different places on our, I hate to say this, but on our journey through photography. We're all at different places. So don't give up. Don't quit. Submit to an image review. Don't be scared. It's not going to be anywhere near as brutal as tonight. So yeah, if you're new in it, stick with it. It takes a while. My first role, I mentioned before the meeting, my first roll of film, I was so excited and it came out blank, completely blank because I did not hook the film on the sprocket correctly. So when every time I'd rewind, it was just sitting there. It was not rewinding because I didn't have it hooked up the right way. When I got that film back, I was crushed. I was crushed. What did I do wrong? But I stuck with it. And that I was in graduate school. I stuck with it, and thank goodness digital came, so I don't have to hook up to any sprockets anymore. But but yeah, hang in there. Don't give up on it. Now, the people that we called on, Dave and Eve and Jean, do any of you have anything to add?
Well,
Hey, Mike, Dave Marchetto here, and just a great April Fool's session. And I can do you one better. In the old film days, left the cap on the lens. So that has to top yours. But I'll tell you, I use a rangefinder now, and so it's absolutely the same peril. Because
Yeah,
as you look at the rangefinder or through the rangefinder, you're not looking through the lens, right?
that's true.
So I still have this primal fear that my lens cap is on, and sometimes
And
it
sometimes it
is.
is.
Hey, Mike, can you go back to the first image though? Because I'm still waiting for your grand award, and I really vote for the motorcycle.
Well, yeah, it's your photograph. Of course you vote for it.
Could you pull it up for us, please?
Yeah, I have it up. Can you see it?
I mean, if this doesn't do it, I don't know what does, Mike.
True. Very true.
Really,
Thanks for
really great
sending it.
session. We want to thank you for it, Mike.
Sure. Gene, you were going to say something?
Well, I was getting my camera gear ready for a wedding last week, and so I was shooting my Mark IV, and I would press it, and what the heck? Nothing's happening. And then after a while, it would go off. And like you, I was like this with the camera. And yeah, I had it on timer because I was doing some self-portrait work and I had it on timer the last time I used
Oh,
it, forgot to take it off. So it happens to all of us.
it
And yeah,
does.
it
It
does.
does. Anyone
But
else that I'm sorry, go ahead, Gene.
great session. I enjoyed it very much. Thank you, Mike.
Oh, of course. Good. Um, let's see. Eve, do you have anything else for the good of the cause before I go on and abuse other people?
Well, I just bought my first mirrorless, so I am sure after I get before or as I get accustomed to this camera, I'll have more for any April Fool's sessions you would like
Fair enough.
to host again. So
We all do, don't we?
yeah, yeah.
Let's see. Mark, how about you?
Well, I guess I specialize in taking pictures of the ground. I'll have the camera on my side and I'll touch the trigger, I'll touch the shutter, and boom, 30 shots of my feet.
Oh, hey, did I show you mine, Mark? Did I show you my feet?
Yeah, you did.
I'd like
You
to
did.
see it.
I get it about that sharp as just before it went sharp. I get the blurry stuff.
Yeah, no, mine's as sharp as a tack.
I because I usually have a 400 millimeter lens by my side, so it's field, it's close
Yeah,
focusing distances more than
understood.
my leg length.
Right. George, anything? Is he out of here?
Yeah, I think he just saw a note that he canceled his membership in the club, as did Mary Fox.
I know. Oh boy. All right. Does anyone have any questions? Okay, then that should do it from me, Mark.
Thanks, Mike,
Okay,
for
Mike.
humanizing us all.
Ah, you're
Yeah,
welcome.
Yeah, thanks,
yeah,
Mike. That's
Mike.
great.
I really appreciate it. I enjoyed it.
Yeah,
Good.
needed a
That
lesson.
was the real point, is to let people know that when you screw up, you're no different than any of the rest of us.
And you might even be as dumb as us, where we actually keep our bad pictures.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah. Yeah. Thank goodness you did.
Good.
Yeah. Okay,
All right.
folks. The next meeting is April 20th, and we're going to have a presentation from Ian Plant, if I remember correctly.
Hmm.
So that should be a good session. Okay. Is there anything else?
Thanks a lot,
All
Mike.
right then.
Oh, you're welcome.
See you at Gerhardt's.
Okay.
Hey, thanks, Mike.
Okay.
You're
Well, I'm gonna-
welcome. Mark,
Thank
thank
you.
you.
That was fun.
Okay, good. All right, we're out of here.